Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So at the beginning of the chapter solid geometry, I want to discuss about some basic concepts. Okay, come to page number 305. Okay, it is written in your book. The lines are already there. I will just be explaining them as much as possible. Okay. Number one concept that they are talking about is each of length, breadth, and height of a body is called a dimension. We know, right, already? Because whenever actually we talk about, let us say, a straight line. If I draw a straight line, okay, this straight line has only length, one dimension. But if I ask you about this surface. Now this surface has length and breadth. This is two-dimensional, like the board also. Okay, this board has a length and a breadth, so this is two-dimensional. But what if I'm talking about a box? Okay, whenever I'm talking about a box, it is three-dimensional. We all know, right? Okay, length, breadth, and height, three-dimensional. A point has no length, right? If I give a point here, it does not have any length. Okay, nor it has any breadth or thickness. It is an assumption. For practical purpose, we use a dot to indicate a point. It can be called a replica of position. Yes, by dot we actually represent the position of something. Hence, a point has no dimension. Okay, always remember, this is very important for MCQ. All these things, generally we don't discuss this in classes because these are not actually important for creative, but important for MCQ. And I see the students suffering in MCQ very much. That is why I decided to discuss all of this. Okay, at least while discussing you will listen and it will help you in the MCQs. Okay, so so it is zero dimensional. Point is zero dimensional. It does not have any dimension. A line has length only. This is something already I discussed about. And a surface has length and breadth. This is also I said. And number five, a body having length, breadth, and thickness is called a solid. Yes. Thickness, sometimes we mention it as height. Okay. Acha. Now some elementary definition. Number one, plane surface. This is nothing but just a surface. Okay, plane surface like the board on which I'm writing. This is a plane surface. Now, how can we actually define it? Okay, if you want to define it, it will be in such a way that if I draw a straight line on this, or if I join 2 points through a straight line, it will look like a straight line. Okay, but if the surface is not plane, then what will happen? Even though you draw a straight line, looking from an angle, you will feel like this is not a straight line. Okay, it is something curved, or it is a zigzag line. You might feel like that if the surface is not plane. Okay, then the curved surface. Curved surface, the best example to understand this curved surface is a sphere or a football or any ball. Okay, the surface of this ball is a curved surface, not a plane surface. Understood? Then solid geometry. The name of this chapter is solid geometry. So what is solid geometry? The branch of mathematics which concerns with the properties of solids and surfaces, lines and points is called solid geometry. So inshallah, in this chapter we will be talking about several types of solid, like cube, parallelepiped, then cone, cylinder, like this. Okay, several types of shapes. Inshallah we will be discussing about them. Acha. Now coplanar straight line. Coplanar. On this is a plane, right? So if I draw two lines on this plane, both of this line will be coplanar straight line because both of them are lying on the same plane. So whenever two lines are lying on the same plane, then they are called as coplanar. Like when two persons are working in the same company, they are called colleague. Okay, so like that, coplanar. Okay, then we have skew or non-coplanar lines. The and name is actually self-explanatory. Okay, now let us say I have this book. On this book I draw a line, and on the board I draw a line. Both of the line are not lying in the same plane, so they are non-coplanar. Okay, they are non-coplanar because they are not lying in the same plane. Acha. Or their other name is skew lines. Sometimes actually whenever in the question it is asked define skew lines, students get confused. Okay, when I actually saw myself first time, I also got confused. So no problem. But now you know, right? Okay. Parallel straight line. When the distance between two lines is same at every point. Here it is 4 meter, here it is 4 meter, here it is 4 meter. That means they will never intersect. The best example of this is the railway lines. The railway lines are parallel to each other, right? If there is any exception in that, then the train will face an accident, right? The train will experience an accident. So they have to be exactly parallel to each other, and they will never intersect. That is the main point. Okay, the lines, they never intersect, then we can say them that is a parallel line. Whenever two lines actually intersect, the point where they intersect is called the common point. Why it is called the common point? Because this point is on both the straight line. That is why this is called the intersecting point, or we can say it is the common point. Now, in case of parallel line, we can divide it in this way also, that the lines which do not have a common point, if you write this, that is also okay. Okay, which lines will not have any common point? Those who are never intersecting each other. So that is the actually characteristic of parallel line. Okay. Acha, then parallel planes or surface. Okay, I have this book. Okay, this is the surface of this book is a plane, and if I take another surface like this, okay, and keep them parallel, like the distance is same, if I extend this plane up to infinity and this plane up to infinity, it will always be what? It will never be intersecting. The distance between them will be same, or we can say they will have no common point because they will never intersect. So this is the concept of parallel planes or surface. Okay, now line parallel to a plane. Okay, a line that will be parallel to a plane. Let us say this is a surface or this is a plane, and this is a straight line. This is not a plane, this is not a plane, this is a straight line. So you can see that this straight line is parallel. I have kept it in parallel with the plane. So this is a line parallel to plane or surfaces. Okay, some of you might be thinking these are very childish things, but still these are important to discuss. Okay, normal or perpendicular, we are already familiar with this because we are the student of science, and in physics we already have seen what normal mean, right? On the surface of separation, in case of refraction and reflection, we have seen this. On the surface of separation, whenever we draw perpendicular, that is called the normal, right? So this is normal or perpendicular to a plane. With figure, actually all of this has been explained here, but I'm trying to explain it practically by showing like this. Okay, oblique line. What is oblique line? If you remember, in the definition of reflection and refraction, we already have studied that whenever a light ray falls obliquely on the surface of separation, I used to say this several times, that obliquely, this word is very important, because when the light ray falls obliquely, then only it will change its direction and the reflection will occur. If it does not fall obliquely, it falls perpendicularly, then what will happen? There will be no refraction, it will go straight. Okay, and if there is no change of direction, then reflection is not occurring. Refraction is the changing of direction. So whenever light ray falls obliquely, it changes its direction, and then only we can say that the reflection is occurring. Okay, so obliquely means, I think you already got the idea, that if we have a plane, okay, if I have this plane, now there might be three cases. This line might be parallel to this line, parallel to this plane, or this might be perpendicular to this plane, or this might be at an angle to this plane. Three cases. The first two cases are not oblique. This is not oblique to the plane. This is not oblique to the plane, but rather this is obliquely to the plane. Okay. So whenever I am talking about oblique line, you have to understand that there is some angle which is not equal to 90 degree between the line and the plane. Understood? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please respond sometimes. Okay. And the vertical line of a plane, vertical line is you might get confused between this vertical line and normal or perpendicular line. Okay, let me explain it in this way. Actually, this is given here in this figure. I don't know whether I can draw it on the board properly or not, because I'm very good at drawing, as you know already. Okay, let us say this is a surface. If I draw a line which is perpendicular to this surface, then this is normal, not abnormal. Okay, normal, or we can say perpendicular line. Okay, but what if this is a surface, right? With this I keep another surface perpendicularly. Can you imagine that this is a surface and I have kept another surface here perpendicularly? Now I will draw two lines. One line on this surface, another line on this surface. They will be perpendicular to each other, right? In this case, this line will be known as a vertical line, or this plane will be a vertical plane for this plane. Did you understand?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay. No?
No, sir.
কে বুঝো নাই?
No, sir.
স্যার আমি বুঝি নাই এই দুটোর মধ্যে ডিফারেন্স কি?
কোনটা বুঝো না? এই যে পারপেন্ডিকুলার নাকি ভার্টিক্যাল?
স্যার দুটোটা তো একই, দুটোর মধ্যে ডিফারেন্সটা কোথায়?
দুটোটা না ডিফারেন্ট আছে। দেখো, একটা হচ্ছে কি এরকম, দেখো এই যে এটা একটা প্লেন মনে করো, ঠিক আছে? এটার সাথে পারপেন্ডিকুলারলি আরেকটা প্লেন আমি রাখলাম। এখন এটার উপরে যদি আমি একটা লাইন ড্র করি, তাহলে এই লাইনটা ওটার সাথে ভার্টিক্যাল। আর যদি কোনো প্লেন ছাড়া জাস্ট সিম্পলি আমি এখানে এটা এভাবে ড্র করি, দিস উইল বি আ পারপেন্ডিকুলার। দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ডিফারেন্স। Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then horizontal line. This line is horizontal with this plane, or we can say actually parallel line. Okay, whenever we are talking about actually horizontal line, we must refer to the horizon. Horizon means the ground. Any line that is parallel to the ground is known as horizontal line. Okay, now planar and skew quadrilateral, these things inshallah we will be talking about in the following classes. Today I want to discuss one or two examples also. Okay, so till 12 we have discussed. Kindly remember, from the following classes inshallah we will be discussing about 13, 14, and this dihedral angles, projection. I think you already have a little bit idea, right? Because we studied orthogonal projection already. Acha. Then we will be talking about some solids. These solids actually I discussed with you a couple of days ago, I guess, whenever we are studying mensuration. Remember, in mensuration we studied parallelepiped, okay, the rectangular box, okay, then we studied about cylinder, right circular cone. Do you remember? So the formulas are,
Yes, we'll see.
বুঝি নাই কি ইয়াসমিন?
Yes, sir, we'll see.
Oh yes sir বলছো, ওকে ওকে, আমি ভাবছি কেউ হয়তো নো স্যার বলতেছেন, ভুলে গেছে হয়তো। Okay, so these things are quite similar to that. If you remember the formulas, actually I'd like to request you to revise those formulas as we have already gone through them. Okay, so for rectangular box, okay, this is a rectangular box that has 3 dimensions: length, breadth, and height. So if I represent length by L, breadth by B, and height by H, okay, so if I want to find out the volume will be length into breadth into height. And what will be the area of the surface? Area of the surface. Now if you take a look at this one, this has 6 surface, 6. One at the front, similar one at the back. One at the right, this one, and similar one at the left, one at the top, and similar one at the bottom. So 6 surfaces are there. If I add the area of this 6 surface, then I will be getting the total area of surface. Okay, that's right. Now, how to find out the area? We have to actually each area. If you take a look, each area is rectangle. See the front surface. The front surface is a rectangle. What is the formula to find out the area of rectangle? Length into breadth. So this one has a length L, and what is this breadth? This breadth is equal to H. So the surface the front side has is LH, length into breadth, right? Now there is similar surface at the back. So if I multiply it by 2, then I will be getting the area of the front surface and the back surface. Now, if I think about the area of the surface that is in the right side, okay, it has a length of B and a breadth of H. So what will be the area? That area will be BH. Now, similar to this, there is another surface at the left. So if I multiply by 2, I will be getting the area of the two surfaces. Now let us think about the top surface. Okay, top surface has a length that is equal to L and a breadth that is equal to B. So the area will be LB, and like the top surface, there is a surface at the bottom also. So it will be 2LB. So if I take the summation of all the 6 surfaces, I will actually be getting the area of the whole surface. Okay. Sometimes you will see the formula in this form: 2 into AB plus BC plus CA. Here A is length, B is breadth, and C is the height. Okay. It doesn't matter in whichever form you write. You just have to use it correctly in the answer. Okay. That is what matters the most. Okay. Then the next thing that we are going to discuss about this is the diagonal. Okay. Now what the diagonal mean? If I'm talking about the diagonal of a surface, let us say I'm talking the diagonal of the front surface, this surface only. So on this surface, the two opposite corner point, if I connect them, I will get the diagonal of the front surface only. But if I'm talking about the diagonal of the whole box, of the whole solid, then I have to connect this corner point to the opposite corner point, this one. Just try to imagine it, three-dimensionally. You have a box, the left bottom corner, you have to connect it to the right, back top corner. So if you can imagine it, you will be getting a line that is through the box, okay? And that will be the diagonal of the box. Could you imagine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, mashallah. So if I want to know the length of the diagonal, what is the formula? The formula is root over L square plus B square plus H square. In your book, it might be written as A square plus B square plus C square. No problem. L I represented as length, B is breadth, and H is height. Okay. So, do you want to see how this formula came?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, we need to do some geometry. Okay. Let us think about this diagonal, the diagonal of the bottom surface. Can you imagine it? This is the bottom surface, and I have drawn the diagonal of the bottom surface. So what will be the length of this one? I can find it using the Pythagoras theorem. Okay. Let us say I have represented this as P. Okay. So according to Pythagoras theorem, it is going to be P square is equal to L square plus B square. Because this is a right angle triangle, this angle is right angle. I hope you can imagine it. Okay. This is a rectangular box, so each angle must be 90 degrees. So L square plus B square, that is the Pythagoras theorem is the hypotenuse square is equal to the summation of other two sides square. So according to that, I have written it. Anybody has any objection about this one?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, good. Now we are actually trying to find out this diagonal, right? This diagonal from this point to this point. Now this is making another right angle triangle with this. See, this P H, and that diagonal is making another right angle triangle. Can you imagine it?
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes.
you. Okay. So this is the hypotenuse of that right angle triangle, and this is the diagonal D that I am trying to find out the length of, right? So what I can write, this is the hypotenuse because this is 90 degree. So 90 degree opposite hypotenuse. According to Pythagoras theorem, again we can write d square is equal to p square plus h square. Now p square, I have already found the value of this one as l square plus b square. So L square plus B square plus H square. I do not want the value of D square. I want the value of D. So I must take root over on both the sides. So if I do root over on both the sides, it will be root over L square plus B square plus H square. That's how the equation or the formula is developed. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the second, actually the second solid that we are going to talk about is similar to this one. Okay, that is cube. Cube is also like a rectangular solid, but there is a subtle difference. The difference is, in case of rectangular solid, we know that the length, breadth, and height, they are not equal to each other. But what if they become equal to each other? It will become a
We
cube.
will take square.
Okay, it will become a cube. Cube means it is a box with length, breadth, and height all equal to each other. You have always heard about the Rubik's cube, right? Where one side is colored orange, another side is colored blue, another side is red. Or six surfaces have six different colors, and then they, actually, what do I say? They make a puzzle out of it. Then you have to rotate it somehow. You have to do it something so that all the colors become in the same surface again. You have seen this, right? Rubik's cube. Why do I call it cube? Because it has the same length, breadth, and height. Okay? Whenever you will see this, you will notice that the length, breadth, and height of this box is equal. That is why it is called a cube. Okay, that is what I'm trying to say mainly. Acha. In case of rectangular box, LBH will have different values. But in case of cube, they all will be equal. So it might look like a little bit like this. This tool should be equal, and this length should be equal to this length also. So you can see that this is a box only, but with same length, breadth, and height. Okay. So if length, breadth, and height, they all are equal to each other, then what we can write? We know that the volume is equal to length into breadth into height. But here you can see length into breadth. This is equal to length, so I can write L. H, I can replace it by L because this is equal to L, so it will become L cube. That means in order to find the volume of a cube, I only need to know the length of one side. Because if I know this side, then I know the breadth and length also. It is the same. Or we can actually apply this formula directly, the length cube. It is the volume of the cube. Okay. And if I'm talking about the total surface, if you remember, we already developed the relationship or the formula, that is 2 into LB BH plus LH, right? Now, B can be replaced by L, B and H, both of them can be replaced by LL, H can be replaced by L, because they all are equal. So 2 into, it will be L square plus L square plus L square. So it will be 3L square, 3 into 2, it will be 6L square. So that is the formula to find out the area. If you know the length, you can just put it here and find out the area of the total surface. We can actually feel it. Okay, I do not want you to memorize this because we can feel it. Feel it, then you don't have to memorize it or force yourself to keep it in your mind. It will be there automatically. Okay, how? Now if you think about this, each surface is a square. Each surface is a square because the length and the height, this is equal. This is L, this is L, this is L, this is L. All the four sides are equal. If I'm talking about the front surface, it has four equal sides, so this is a square. What is the formula to find out the area of a square? length square, right? Length square. Now there are 6 surfaces with the same area. If one area has L square, then 6 area will be, sorry, not area, 6 surfaces. One surface has an area of L square, then 6 surfaces will have an area of 6L square. So we can just directly say it from here. Okay?
স্যার
বলেন।
স্যার রাফ তো করে দিলেন, এরিয়াটা তো লিখতেই পারি নাই।
তো কি হয়েছে, এটা আমি রেকর্ড করতেছি, সেটা জানেন না?
ও ওকে ওকে ওকে।
ওকে, তারপর ডায়াগোনাল। ডায়াগোনালের যে ফর্মুলাটা আমরা একটু আগে দেখছিলাম রেক্টেঙ্গুলার বক্সের জন্য, সেটা হচ্ছে ডায়াগোনাল d is equal to root over l square plus b square plus h square. b square কে আমি এখন বানিয়ে দেব l square, h square কে বানিয়ে দেব l square। তাহলে root over 3l square, স্কয়ারের সাথে রুট ওভার কাটাকাটি গিয়ে l টা রুট ওভারের বাইরে চলে যাবে, কিন্তু √3 এর উপরে রুট ওভারটা থেকে যাবে। So please, whenever you write this formula, do not make this mistake. Many times I have seen making the mistake. Student write like this, root over 3l, একটু টান দিয়ে l এর উপরে রুট ওভারটা চলে যায়। You cannot do that because l is out of the root over, so the root must be on 3 only. So please remember. So these are the formula, okay, for rectangular, solid and cube. Okay, now let us take a look at example 1. A rectangular parallelepiped has its length. Oh, I forgot to tell you that the rectangular box that we are talking about earlier, okay, before cube, that is also called a parallelepiped. Okay, it's a name. A rectangular parallelepiped has its length, breadth and height in the ratio 4:3:2. Whenever you will be given such ratio, you can easily consider that the length is 4x, breadth is 3x and height is 2x. Do you know why we consider it in this way? Do you know?
No, sir.
You don't?
No.
জানো নাকি? ক্লাসে এতজন আছো, 16 people are there in the class. একটা রেসপন্স তোমরা একটু করতে পারো না যখন একটা কোশ্চেন করি?
পারি, sir.
দেখো, তোমরা যদি আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস না করো যে কেন আমরা এভাবে কনসিডার করি, it's not my responsibility to explain anymore. Okay, I'm free. Okay, now the area of its whole surface is 468 square meter. Now if you remember, already we considered the length to be 4x, breadth to be 3x and height to be 2x. Okay, the area of its whole surface, what is the formula to find out the area of whole surface? 2 into length into breadth, breadth into height, length into height. This is equal to 468. Now we will replace the value. 2 into length is given as 4x into breadth is given as 3x plus breadth is given as 3x, h is 2x plus 4x into 2x, 468. In the whole equation, the only unknown is x. So can you find out the value of x from here?
Yes, sir.
2 টাকে প্রথমে আমরা ওইদিকে পাঠিয়ে দিব। 4 into 3 কত? 12x square, 6x square, 8x square is equal to 468 divided by 2. 12 or 6, 18, 18 আর 8 মিলে 26x square is equal to 468 divided by 2. And x square is equal to 468 divided by 2 into 26. Find it out, okay? Acha. Now the thing that I want to talk about here is many times I have seen the students writing the answer this, okay, whatever the value you get here, you write this. Do not forget, this is the value of x square. You have to take root over on both the side and find the value of x. Still you are not done. তোমাকে x এর ভ্যালু বের করতে বলা নাই, কি বের করতে বলছে? Find the diagonal and the volume of it. So if you want to find the diagonal and volume, you must know the length, breadth and height. So when you get the value of x from here, put it here. Let us say I got the value of x as 5. I do not know what will be the value. I'm just saying, for example, if the value of x you got 5, then 4 into 5, L will be 20. 3 into 5, B will be 15. 2 into 5, height will be 10. So you know the length, breadth, and height. Then you have been asked to find out the diagonal. What is the formula to find out the diagonal? You already know. Just put the values and find out the answer. And the same applies for volume. Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. And as I can see, we have only 1 minute left. So I'd rather not start another topic today. So whatever we have discussed, first of all, revise it. Okay. And then if you can go through the topics that from 13, which I said we will discuss in the next class, and also try to see the example 2. Okay. Before example 2, actually you have to see the prism thing. I don't know whether you are familiar with prism or not. I think you are, because in physics I taught you.
Yes, sir, we are.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
menstruation to course কয়েকদিন আগে আমি জানি না বারবার ভুলে যাচ্ছি।
আসলে তো বিশ্লেষণের মতোই।
হ্যাঁ, পুরো মেনস্ট্রুয়েশনের মতো না?
হ্যাঁ।
ওকে, তো ওখানে তো দেখাইছিলাম না যে মানে প্রিজমের আমার তো ক্লিয়ার মনে হয় না, ভুলে যাই বারবার। ওকে, সো ইনশাআল্লাহ we will meet in the next class. Till then, stay safe. Before we end the class, anybody wants to ask any question?
Sir, I had.
বলো।
So এখানে বলতে the ratio of land, breadth and height is 4:3:2. But ওখানে তারপরে ওরা 4x 3x 2x কি জন্য নিছে?
এটাই তো আমি বলতে চাচ্ছিলাম, কিন্তু তোমরা আমাকে একটু কোশ্চেন করো না, এর জন্য খুবই রাগ লাগে। কোশ্চেন করো না একটা জিনিস, এটা অনেক ইন্টারেস্টিং যে কেন আমরা এরকম করি।
স্যার এখনই তো শেষ, টাইমই তো নাই, কেমনে করবেন এক্সপ্লেইন? এই এখনই বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে।
কিসের এখন বন্ধ যাবে? আমি দেখতেছি আরো 5 মিনিট আছে। দেখো দিকে খালি ফাঁকি আছে। 4:3:2. Whenever I tell you this is the ratio of length is to breadth is to height, তার মানে কি? The length can be 4 meter, breadth can be 3 meter, and the height can be 2 meter. But that is not for sure. It can also be the length can be 8 meter, the breadth can be 6 meter, and the height can be 4 meter. Did you see what I did here? I doubled the amount. যেহেতু এটা সেম রেশিওতে আছে, তো একটাকে যদি ডাবল করো সবগুলো ডাবল হবে। So it is possible that they are 8, 6 and 4 meter. Then again, it is also possible if the length is 12 meter, it is 9 meter, and it is 6 meter. Then also it will be in the ratio of 4:3:2. Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say? Length, breadth and height এগুলার ভ্যালু এই তিনটা হইতে পারে, আবার এই তিনটাও হইতে পারে, আবার এই তিনটাও হইতে পারে, তাই না? এই জিনিসগুলোকে আমরা একটু কিভাবে লিখতে পারি দেখো তো। আমি এটাকে 4:1 লিখতে পারি, এটাকে লিখতে পারি 3:1, এটাকে লিখতে পারি 2:1, এইটাকে লিখতে পারি 4:2, 3:2 এবং 2:2, এবং এটাকে লেখা যায় 4:3, এটাকে লেখা যায় 3:3, এটাকে 2:3 লেখা যায়। তার মানে হচ্ছে এই যে 4, এটা সবসময় থাকবে, তাই না? এটা সবসময় থাকবে। এটার সাথে 1 2 3 নাকি কত মাল্টিপ্লাই করলে আমি অরিজিনাল লেংথটা পাবো এটা আমি জানি না। এই কারণে আমি ধরে নিব the length is 4x. আবার একটু খেয়াল করো, এটি যে এখানে 3, ব্রেডটার ক্ষেত্রে 3, এই 3টা সবসময় থাকবে, কিন্তু এটার সাথে কত মাল্টিপ্লাই করলে আমি অরিজিনাল লেংথ অরিজিনাল ব্রেডটা পাবো সেটা আমি জানি না। এই কারণে আমি ধরে নিব এটা 3x, x এর ভ্যালু আমি জানি না। তবে একটা জিনিস ফর শিওর, যদি এখানে x এর ভ্যালু 2 হয়, মানে লেংথ অরিজিনাল লেংথ পাওয়ার জন্য 2 মাল্টিপ্লাই করতে হয়, তাহলে ব্রেড পাওয়ার জন্য 2 মাল্টিপ্লাই করতে হবে, মানে সেম নাম্বার মাল্টিপ্লাই করতে হবে। এই কারণে এখানে যদি আমি x ধরি তাহলে এখানেও আমি x ধরতে পারবো, এবং এখানেও কি হবে, এটা 2x ধরবো, কারণ আমি জানি না যে 2 এর সাথে কত মাল্টিপ্লাই করলে আমি অরিজিনাল লেংথটা অরিজিনাল হাইটটা পাবো। সো এই জন্য আসলে আমরা ধরে নিই 4x 3x 2x। ওকে, অনেকে কানাকাটি শুরু করে দিছো, ক্লাসের টাইম শেষ হয়ে গেছে এজন্য। ভালো থাকো।
একটা কোশ্চেন জিজ্ঞেস করি
পরের কাছে, অন্যরা অনেক বিরক্ত হচ্ছে, ক্লাস টাইম শেষ।
জাস্ট সিম্পল কোশ্চেন।
ওকে স্যার।
আমার অ্যানসারের মধ্যে এগুলা ইউনিট কি দিব রেক্ট্যাঙ্গেল আর কিউবের জন্য?
বুঝি নাই কিসের জন্য?
অ্যানসারের মধ্যে আমরা কিসের ইউনিট দেব? স্কয়ার সেন্টিমিটার, স্কয়ার, মিটার কিউব, মানে ইউনিটটা কি দিব আমরা?
কিসের লেংথের
এরিয়া অথবা অ্যান্সার
সবসময়
যখন
মনে
আমরা
রাখবা
বাহির করি।
যখনই কোথাও তুমি লেংথ দেখছো the unit will be meter or centimeter or millimeter or kilometer, something like this. Whenever you are calculating area, meter square, centimeter square, kilometer square, millimeter square, something like this, square will be there, because to calculate the area you multiply 2 meter, length into breadth, meter into meter, so meter square. And whenever you calculate volume, you multiply 3 dimension, meter into meter into meter, length to meter e calculate karo, breadth to meter e, height to meter e, so meter into meter into meter, meter cube, so the unit will be meter cube. So যখনই তোমার কনফিউশন হবে যে এটার ইউনিটটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি কি হবে, তুমি নিজেকে জিজ্ঞেস করবে এখানে কয়টা মিটার আমি মাল্টিপ্লাই করছি, যতটা মিটার পাওয়ার তত, সিম্পল। ওকে
ওকে স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ।